This Week in Startups is brought to you by ShipStation.com. Try ShipStation free for 30 days and get an additional month free using the promo code TWIST. And Aero, the world's first home mesh Wi-Fi system for free overnight shipping. Visit aero.com, EERO.com. At checkout, select expedited shipping, then enter promo code TWIST.
Hey everybody, it's another episode of This Week in Startups. This is the show where we talk to founders who want to change the world by making products and services that are better than the ones that have come before theirs. It's hard to be an entrepreneur. Most entrepreneurs fail. And some sectors are unforgiving. I can tell you the unforgiving sectors. They're the ones I try not to invest in. The music industry tries to stop every music startup. So I pass on investing on music startup after music startup. And then all of a sudden, Spotify figures it out. Eventually, somebody figures out every space. It happened in health as well. I passed on every health company. Nobody has figured that space out yet. Food is also one of the hardest spaces that any founder can operate in. Food. It should be innovated upon. We should be having many more services and products that make our life more delightful. But we've seen here in Silicon Valley, one of my investments, Bento, they did a great job delivering food to homes, high NPS score, net promoter scores, but they failed. They couldn't make the unit economics really work. Sprig raised $100 million. They were doing tens of thousands of meals per week. They recently shut down. It's a hard space. And my guest today, David Rabie, is of Tovala, and he believes he's going to crack the space. Welcome to the program, David.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so that was a big build-up. The food space is hard. It's really hard. It seems like Blue Apron has figured it out a bit. It seems like that's a profitable business. I use it. I like it. But a lot of other ones have failed. Why is the food business so hard, and what attracted you to it?
So I'll start with the second part. I've been passionate about food since I was 18 years old. I went on a health retreat with my dad, and we had 5 days of vegetarian food, hiking, yoga, and it was the first time as a person that I'd ever really thought about what I was eating. And I felt incredible at the end of the week. And for the rest, the last 12, 13 years, I've spent my life really thinking about ways to make it easier for people to eat better and eat healthier. And that's a huge challenge, as you say.
Were you overweight or something? Was this like one of those fat camps or something?
No, not at all. We were both in shape. It's funny.
What's the name of this camp that you go?
It's called the Ashram. It's in California.
I've heard of this.
Yeah, most people go to lose weight, and we purposely did not want to lose weight.
The Ashram is a place in Los Angeles where you hike.
Yes.
$5,000 a week, I was told.
It was less at the time, but yeah, it's expensive.
And you just eat vegetarian.
It's all vegetarian.
No devices.
None.
Some celebrities.
There are some celebrities.
And you hike the Santa Monica Mountains every day and eat these vegetables.
Yes, you hike 10 to 15 miles a day. They give you 1 or 2 almonds at the top of the mountain as your treat.
1 or 2 almonds?
Yes.
So you pay them $5,000 and they torture you.
Basically.
So that's the inspiration. So here we have, for those of you who are listening, we have a giant oven. I shouldn't say giant. It looks like a larger microwave from Tovala, which means table in Italian.
It's a spin on the word for table, yes.
Yes. And David, you're going to put some food in here so we can get started cooking it, and I'll eat the food on air. So while you put that food in there, I see it's a beautiful package. I guess you ship that to people for $13, I understand.
Yeah, $12.
$12. And it looks, for people who are listening, like it looks like a little microwave dish, like maybe but it looks gorgeous. It looks like a
beautiful piece of raw salmon.
Raw salmon.
You got broccoli on top of a bed of rice.
Beautiful.
And then your meal comes with a bunch of garnishes. So there's a miso glaze that we make from scratch.
Lovely.
Mix of lemon and lime.
Beautiful.
So all you do to prep the meal,
you're going
to remove the films.
There you go. Plastic's off.
On both of these guys.
Okay. And this ships by UPS or something? Or?
It's shipped with FedEx. Yes, FedEx. Exactly.
Great.
And then I'm going to put the glaze on top of the salmon.
Beautiful.
Very easy.
Very easy. What I love about this is the portion control. So you have this little, like to-go cup of the sauce.
Right.
So it's perfect every time.
Right.
You're not going to screw it up.
This dish is about 500 calories.
500 calories.
Really balanced, high protein, a lot of vegetables.
You put a little lemon there on top of the broccoli.
Little lemon and olive oil.
Beautiful. Nicely done.
That's it. That's all the
Now we're
prep
done.
you got to do.
Now you're opening the oven.
So
You're
open the
sliding
oven.
it in. These are metal dishes or aluminum?
They're aluminum, fully recyclable trays.
Great.
So I put the 2 dishes inside. It can fit up to 4 trays easily.
Great.
Okay, and now the magic. The oven is connected to Wi-Fi.
Oh, it is?
It is. The oven is connected to Wi-Fi. Every dish comes with a unique barcode.
Ah.
You scan the barcode under the oven. The oven downloads the recipe from the cloud. Push start, and it goes.
So you don't have to understand what temperature, preheat, all this other nonsense.
We have a chef that trained at Noma, worked at Alinea, worked at Moto that figures that out for you.
A Noma-trained chef.
Yes.
Okay, and now we hear a gentle humming in the background. This is steaming going on?
It's a convection fan that's circulating the air inside. And yes, it's about to start steaming. So the magic is we use steam, dry heat, and broiling in different combinations to cook your food through and then caramelize and give you a nice crust.
Okay, so we've now put the food in the oven, and it's going to take 13 minutes, and we'll be right back in 2 seconds when the salmon is cooked. All right, everybody, it's very exciting. Let's keep the shot on the countdown clock there, please. And we have 15 seconds left, and a beautiful salmon and some crisp broccoli. Looks like it's caramelizing there. David, it's pretty exciting right now.
This is the moment of truth.
It must feel pretty great to make me salmon, doesn't it?
It's great. Just wait till you try it.
This is, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and guess that this is like a dream realized for you, to be on This Week in Startups serving me my dinner. Hey, Jackie, let's make a programming note that from now on, every guest should either bring or make me food on the show. Okay, don't burn yourself there. Okay, be careful.
Okay.
Look at that. He's got the Tovala. Tovala?
Tovala.
Tovala. Tovala. He's got the Tovala mitt. And look at this, huh? The crispy salmon.
So I'm going to follow our chef's instructions here. Do my best imitation of him.
Oh, you're going to plate it for me?
I'm going to plate it for you.
Beautiful. Look at this, huh? The broccoli right in the center. And just to recap here what happened, the oven is $400. The oven has a scanner in it and a computer and Wi-Fi. You scan the barcode, you get 3 meals a week, $12 each, $36. Looks like about 5 or 6 ounces of salmon, some beautiful rice, and some beautiful charred broccoli there. Took about 13 or 14 minutes to cook. The cooking is a combination of steaming, then convection, hot air, I believe is what convection means, and then broiling, which is how you get that beautiful charred flavor there on top of the broccoli, which is exactly how I like my broccoli. I will broil my broccoli after I cook it. And now the moment of truth, that beautiful miso glazed salmon, the way I like it. I like a little char on my salmon. My wife says I shouldn't do that. She's concerned about the cancer of the charred food. I tell her that's my favorite preparation. So here we go, beautiful salmon. You know, David, I think that you might be able to do French service in a restaurant right now. Can you debone the fish?
I'm well trained.
That's already deboned.
I'm going to hit it with a little bit of lime for you.
Oh, how nice. Look at this. I like this. This is a new trend on This Week in Startups. Serving the host food.
And then it comes with a nice garnish of pickled ginger on the side.
I love a little pickled, it's a palate cleanser there. A little pickled ginger. All right. And I got my fork and my knife over here.
Okay.
Look at this, huh? Let me come over here.
So here's the dish.
Oh, how beautiful, huh? It's good looking, kid. It's good looking.
Thank you.
Let's take a look here. Oh, smells delicious. So, tell me, while I eat my food, I'll have my moment of truth. Tell me, how does this, what stage is the business at right now? I know you raised about $4 million for the business.
Yes.
So how long have you been working on it? And when will people be able to buy this?
So we've been working on it for about 2 years. Started working
salmon's
on
delicious. Salmon's delicious. Keep talking.
Been working on it for about 2 years. Came out of business school with the idea. We went through Y Combinator. For the last 2 months, we've been serving our early Kickstarter backers, shipping food across the country to the entire continental U.S. We've got ovens connected in homes in every state. And today, July 11th, you can go on the website and actually buy. We'll be selling 2,000 units today because we want to scale our food operation appropriately and maintain the super high quality that you're tasting today. and then we will grow from there.
So, I can absolutely tell you, this is restaurant quality salmon with miso glaze. Like literally, I would say the broccoli and the salmon, absolutely restaurant quality. Now the rice, I don't know because I'm not a major rice connoisseur. The rice tastes good, but the salmon is excellent, and the broccoli is exactly how I like it charred. This 3-stage oven, I think, is pretty much the key to the success of this.
It's two things. So one, it's the fact that the oven moves through all of these stages, but then it's also all of the prep work we do in advance. So if you wanted to recreate this dish at home, you would have to make the miso glaze yourself. You'd have to steam the broccoli. Then you'd have to broil the broccoli. You'd have to find a way to cook your fish just right, then get a nice sear on it. Then you'd have to boil your grains, and then you'd have to clean everything. With us, you scan a barcode, you put your food in, put the glaze on, and you're done. No cleanup.
All right. I'm just chowing down over here. So good. What is the cost to ship for you? What does FedEx charge a startup to ship this? You do 3 meals at a time?
We do 3 or 6 meals at a time.
What does it cost? Because I'm people who do FedEx, I know that you probably get a bulk discount, but what is the range of shipping costs on something like that?
Call it roughly $10 to $20.
Wow. So it's not cheap.
It's not cheap.
So $2 or $3 of every meal is going to be the shipping of it, because it's got to be packed with ice or dry ice or something.
It's packed with gel packs and then an insulated liner to keep it fresh until midnight of the night you get your delivery. Okay, so before you said, hey, the metal is recyclable. The one criticism I hear about a lot of these businesses, hey, is this good for the environment? So how do you think about the environment when you're shipping on a FedEx truck food? Is that worse for the environment to go from a central location to my house? Or is it better that it goes to a Whole Foods in between and then to my house? I think they're both probably not great, to be perfectly frank. I think what we would like to do is have multiple kitchens across the country and make it a lot quicker and shorter time to get to our customers. But we're a startup and we have to start somewhere. Right. And so we have one facility, we ship to the entire country, and over time we'll optimize.
So another way to actually do this would be to have a kitchen somewhere in the Bay Area, have Uber drivers taking it for you or somebody else, maybe your own runners, and just drop off all the meals on Monday at one point in time.
I would think even bigger than that. So our goal is to have many kitchens as opposed to 3, and to have other distribution channels for our food. So let's say there's enough ovens in the Bay Area, there's no reason Whole Foods couldn't carry our trays.
Wow. This is a whole different level.
Whole different level. Let's say we have 150 ovens in a condo building. There's no reason why we can't have a vending machine in the lobby of that condo that's refilled once a week. Okay, wait a second. I now understand your business. I thought you were in the business of competing with the Blue Aprons of the world. But now what I'm realizing is you've just created a standard. So my question when we get back from this quick break is, will I be able to, as an independent producer of food, be able to make my own barcodes, my own recipes, and use them with the oven? Answer that question when we get back on This Week in Startups. Hey, everybody, let me tell you about one of our new partners here at This Week in Startups. It's ShipStation. Now, I got to be very delicate when I say this. ShipStation.com. S-H-I-P, station.com. It's the #1 choice of online sellers. So, if you're selling online, you know that getting orders out the door quickly is hard. That's why you need ShipStation.com. It's fast and easy to manage and ship your orders all from one place. You want to keep those customers happy. So whether you're using Shopify, Squarespace, Etsy, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, or any of the other popular selling channels, you should be using ShipStation. And it brings all of your orders into one simple interface. It's easy to manage from any device, including your mobile phone when you're on the go. It brings all of those orders into one interface so that you can use shipping labels from all the top carriers, UPS, FedEx, the U.S. Postal Service. They do a nice job over there as well. And you can ship more in less time
at the best rates available. So let's get to the call to action here. This is important for all of you in commerce land. I want you to try ShipStation for free for 30 days. And know that you're going to get that second month free if you use the promo code TWIST, TWIST. So go to ShipStation.com before you do anything else and click on that microphone at the top of the homepage and type in TWIST, TWIST. ShipStation. Make ship happen. Thanks again for joining the This Week in Startups family. It's great to have a new partner here, and ShipStation.com does a great job. Remember to use that promo code TWIST and give them a little bit of love. Go ahead and try the product. You're going to love it, especially all you e-commerce people out there who have these packages to ship. E-commerce is becoming such a huge business, and all these great companies are coming along to support it, including ShipStation.com. All right, let's get back to this amazing episode. Welcome back to This Week in Jason Stuffing His Face. My guest is David Rabie. Rabie, I got it right?
Rabie.
Yeah, but it's spelled R-A-B-I-E. So he's David Rabie, or David E. Rabie on the Twitter. Tovala Food, Tovala.com, Tovala.com. The Machine 400, the meals, $12, 3 meals a week, $36. 6 meals a week, or 3 double servings, I should say, $72. You can go to Tovala.com/meals to see it. And today there'll be 2,000 machines available for purchase. The Kickstarter did well. How many machines you sell on that Kickstarter?
We sold about 1,000.
So you sold a $500,000 Kickstarter or something like that?
They were less. They were less on Kickstarter. They were between 200 to 250.
And that's a great proof point when you go talk to investors, huh?
Yes, it helped us raise a round of funding.
What's the early reviews like from the people who have the ovens now?
It's through the roof.
Through the roof.
We have many people who come to us through different channels telling us we've made their lives easier and better. People that were on Blue Apron and stopped using it because this is so much more convenient. At the end of the day, we're solving a pain point for a lot of different types of people. You want dinner that's tasty, healthy, and convenient. Right now, there's not a great solution for that.
Right. And Blue Apron just filed for their IPO.
They did.
They're doing well. But this is a step even easier, perhaps, because you have the oven with and the recipe. Let me ask you this question, which I asked before the break, which is, are you creating an open standard here, or a standard where people could license? In other words, if I'm Whole Foods, can I use your standard, make the trays, and pay you $1 per recipe, and just you are completely out of the picture? You're just taking a licensing fee for me making meals in here and the recipe.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
The way we've built the technology and the system is to enable that to happen if that's the route we want to go down.
You could have restaurants. You could literally, if you had a great restaurant, let's say I had Jason's Italian Kitchen, and I decide I want to make chicken parm. I could say, I'll make chicken parm at my restaurant that fits the standard. So I could order 5 chicken parms, put them in the freezer, and then we pop them in as we use them. You just charge the restaurant for the tin. And I guess putting that plastic cover on is kind of hard.
It is. It depends on what kind of shelf life you're looking for. There's easier ways to seal the trays if you want.
Yeah, if you put aluminum on the top of the tray, you would think it would last in the freezer for a week or 2 or a month or something.
Right.
See, I think you're making a standard here, my goodness. And because you can't hack the machine, right? Will I be able to program recipes as an individual or no?
You can. So the oven has 2 services. One is our meals. 2 is your meals. So think of it as a replacement for your toaster oven. That also steams and is connected to Wi-Fi. And there's a great mobile app experience to kind of guide you through that.
Hey, show me that mobile app experience while we're here.
Sure.
We'll pop up David's mobile phone. So this is interesting. I could say, I want to make my own salmon. I'm going to use my salmon from Good Eggs, because I happen to love their specific type of salmon, or my local fishery. And I program in my own recipe.
Yes.
And then can I share that recipe with other people?
Yes.
Oh my God, this is so brilliant, David.
So let's take salmon for example. Very simple. You've got a nice piece of salmon, olive oil, salt, pepper. We give you some basic notes on the size of the salmon, the amount of portions. 2 steps. You hit cook. Our chefs have devised the right recipe for it. 12 minutes later, your meal's done. This preset section will grow over time, and we'll have dozens of recipes on there. And then let's say you're an expert chef and you want to control it the way our chefs do. You can do multi-step cooking. You want to bake at 400 for 3 minutes.
Just so people understand how elegant the app is. The app has 3 functions: steam, bake, broil, and it does it in that order. Seems like the right order, right?
However you want to do it.
Okay.
Depends on the recipe.
So you could do whatever, 2.5 minutes of baking, a quick 1 minute broil. Because by the way, this is what I do.
Yep.
I will, put something in the oven. I'll bake it, and then for the last second, I'll do the pizza or the bagel. I'll broil it or whatever, and just make it crisp on top.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Pre-program.
So, $400 for this machine. It sounds like this machine is going to cost $400. If people start cooking at home and not using your meals, does that mean you have no profit off of them? And this
That's fine for us. We're happy to have people buy the oven and engage with it and use it on their own. What we want to sell is our food. That's how we view ourselves as a company. Our food is what drives us and makes the product incredible. But on its own, it's a great piece of technology, and steam ovens are hard to come by in the home.
I have a Miele. I had a Miele steam oven, which was, I think, $1,500 or $2,000. It's not cheap. And we loved using it. The only problem with it was you have to move from the steam, then you have to bake, then move to steam, then move to an oven to broil, or whatever it is.
Yes.
It would just be 2 steps, because the toaster oven from Miele does broiling as well. So you'd bake, broil, steam, but it's so nice that it's in one package.
Yes.
And you can program it on your phone.
Right.
That's interesting. So you're not marauding and saying this is going to be a closed ecosystem. You want it to be an open ecosystem.
We want people to share recipes, whether they can create barcodes and all that. That's a different story, and that will come over time. But if you want to make your own recipes on the app, we have a forum where you can share that with other folks. Eventually, there'll be a mobile-first part where I could send you a recipe and you just cook it.
Wow.
That will come over time, and that's great. We want people using the oven for their own food too.
Right. But if I am, some very popular restaurant like TGI Fridays and have a signature dish, I don't know what their signature dish is, they could actually tell people, take this home and just prepare them on site in the restaurant already.
Yes, theoretically, yes.
Oh my God, David, this is such a brilliant idea.
Thank you.
Where'd you go to business school?
I went to Chicago Booth.
And you came up with this idea in school?
I came up with the idea in school. We took it through a bunch of classes in school. We won a business plan competition. Then I met my awesome co-founder that summer. And the two of us, plus our first engineer, we built a prototype and got into Y Combinator and moved out to the Bay about 1.5 years ago.
Hardware is so hard. How did you find a hardware co-founder?
So Brian was actually running a product development firm that he had started about 5 years ago. And I was referred to his firm because they were so highly regarded, a team of engineers out of the University of Illinois, which is a great engineering program. And I thought about hiring his firm to do the work. But we got to know each other over the course of 3 months and decided to partner up together. And he passed the reins of his firm on to someone he'd been training for a few years.
How long and what are the steps to creating a hardware product like this for a founder? I've seen founders struggle with hardware. Walk me through, broad strokes, the phases of development of a piece of hardware from prototype to release and to scaling it now with 2,000 people. And what is the cost on something like that? Is it really just you need millions of dollars to actually do a business like this?
So I think it really depends on the approach you take.
Okay.
So from the very beginning, we wanted to take more of a software approach to hardware development than call it an Apple approach to hardware development.
Okay, what does that mean?
So what that means is we understood what our value proposition was, and that's making delicious meals easily. It's not reinventing the oven. It's not bending sheet metal. It's not reinventing heating coils. And so what we did with our early prototypes, our later prototypes, the machines we've gone to market with, is we worked off of existing technology where we could, the same way you would do with software. And what we did, we understood what we were great at. We've built great controls, great electronics, great software, great food. And rather than reinventing the oven from the ground up and adding all of these bells and whistles to it, we focused on what customers want. And so that's what's allowed us to go very, very fast, not raise a ton of money, and de-risk the entire enterprise as opposed to a lot of other hardware startups.
So how long does it take in months and money to build something like this? If you're an entrepreneur, is it low millions of dollars to get there?
Yeah, call it low millions.
2 million something?
Yeah, 2 to 3 million, 1.5 to 2 years if you're doing it really right.
How do you get the investment to do something like this? You show them a prototype that costs, tens of thousands to build and say, hey, here's the vision, and somebody actually gives you $3 million to pursue it, or?
Kind of. So we found a machine on Amazon that we hacked. We used that to prove our system. Cost us, call it $500.
Wow.
All we did was we took out the electronics, we put in our own electronics, we designed a recipe, we taught the machine to execute a specific cook cycle when we scanned a barcode, ran it offline. It didn't have to run online. It was a very, very janky Android app we built. but you could cook a piece of chicken breast and vegetables at the scan of a barcode.
Wow.
And people saw the vision. Like, that was enough initially. From there, we did the Kickstarter campaign to prove that, okay, there's some market demand for this. And between those two, rather than go burn a ton of money, we built a lot more of those prototypes. We served thousands of meals ourselves. Like, we made the food, we took it to people's homes to make sure that this is something people actually wanted. As opposed to barking up a tree without talking to customers, we realized, okay, we've got something magical here. Like, if you can scan a barcode and get an incredible meal and not have to do anything for it, that's gonna resonate with a whole bunch of people. So that was the step in between. We did the Kickstarter campaign to prove that there was a market for it, make some money from that. We leveraged those two things to raise our seed round.
Got it. So that's crazy. So I guess the idea that steam ovens plus toaster oven, that's existed in the market, but it's very rare.
It's rare and has never become mainstream.
It's never been mainstream.
If you look at sous vide as an example, sous vide is now becoming more mainstream as a way to cook food.
You boil food at a specific temperature for a specific period of time, low and slow.
Yes, exactly. Because there's so much content and education around it.
Yeah.
So it took many years for people to share. More than that. It's been around for decades.
Yeah.
Long, long time.
Well, I'm just saying when the sous vide supreme came out, I got it. That was about 10 years ago, 7 years ago maybe, I got it. And that seemed to be the tipping point. Somebody made a really nice piece of hardware.
That's exactly right. So imagine steam ovens as the next evolution of sous vide. And so there will be a raft of steam ovens coming on the market without food service. Just really cool steam ovens for you to buy and cook amazing food. We're going to jump on top of that. We're going to be creating a lot of the content and the education. But at the end of the day, we want to sell food.
So let me ask you another question that we'll have you answer after this quick break, which is, my brother-in-law, Jared, bought this June oven for $1,500. And I said, hey, dummy, $1,500. You could buy a steam oven probably for $500 and a toaster oven, the best one, for $400. You just got ripped off by $600. I want you to talk about what I think are the next logical competitor, which seems to be the June oven, when we get back on This Week in Startups. Hey, everybody. Let me take a moment to tell you about Eero. E-E-R-O. Eero. You've heard me talk about it before. It's the best router in the world for your home. The single router model doesn't work for a high bandwidth world. We all know this. We've got multiple devices in the house. We've got laptops, we've got computers, we've got iPads, we've got phones, and now we're adding Apple TVs and Sling boxes. We're using a lot of bandwidth. We're using a lot of Wi-Fi. That's why you need a distributed system, and they work well. Eero is easy to install. It's enterprise grade, and it works in your home in just a few minutes. I set it up in literally minutes. You just download the app on your phone for iOS or Android, and it walks you through each step, quick, easy, and painless. And of course, you're going to be protected by state-of-the-art WPA2 encryption, and it controls all the hardware and software for the entire network. It ensures you're always secure, and that's important in today's day and age, unfortunately. Traditional routers just don't push their software updates to the customers, and most of them never do patches, and they leave you vulnerable to cyber attacks and criminals. But Eero updates automatically. So you have the latest features and the latest security at all time. It's one of my favorite aspects to it. And they have incredible customer support. You can call and reach a Wi-Fi expert in just 30 seconds. I haven't had to do that because it just works. But it's nice to know that within 30 seconds, I can get that help. I love using it. I installed it quickly. It covers every inch of our home. And that's one of the great things about it. No more dead zones. No more with my 7-year-old complaining, "That's not working, Dad. Why is it not working? YouTube Kids, Netflix. My apps aren't working." And then I got to figure out, oh, God, what's going on with these bad routers I had previously? Now, I am no longer the tech support department, at least not for Wi-Fi and internet. So here's your call to action. It's pretty simple. You can get free overnight shipping. Just visit Eero.com, E-E-R-O.com, Eero.com, E-E-R-O.com. And at the checkout, select overnight shipping and use the promo code TWIST, T-W-I-S-T, and you get overnight shipping for free. Just think about that. Tomorrow, you hear my voice today. Tomorrow, you're installing that Eero, and you get that free overnight shipping, and then all the arguments and fights about why isn't the internet working, and how come somebody else is on our Wi-Fi from next door, and they're streaming, and what are these hackers? All that nonsense goes away with Eero. Eero.com, and use that promo code TWIST, please. Thank you again, Eero, for supporting independent media like This Week in Startups. We could not do it without you. Okay, back to this amazing program. Hey, everybody, welcome back to This Week in Startups. Tovala, tovala.com, Tovala.com. They make the $400 oven. You can get 3 meals for $36, 3 double-sized meals for $72, delivered by Fedex. But eventually, maybe Whole Foods has it, maybe your local restaurant has it, who knows? But you just scan the barcode and delicious meal. I just had the salmon with the broccoli and the beautiful rice. Absolutely delicious. I would say if you put this on a plate in a restaurant and you charge $24 for it, people would gladly pay it. Feels like a $20 to $30 dish in a restaurant. So well done. When I left you, I was bringing up this June oven. This seems to me to be incredibly overpriced and crazy to spend $1,500 on an oven. But yet people are doing it. Is that the closest competitor? And how do you look at a competitor who wants to be the Apple approach, which is they put a camera in their oven, you don't have a camera. They seem to have just gone crazy on the hardware. Are they your direct competitor or are they just in the same category? How do you look at them?
I don't think they're our closest competitor. I think food companies are a closer competitor to us. So I would say whether it's Freshly or Blue Apron or Grubhub, that's the piece of the dinner pie that we're fighting for. When it comes to June, the biggest difference is number one, our food. Like we are as much a food company as a tech company and we're selling food. They're selling an amazing connected appliance. And then number two is the cooking methods within the appliance itself. A ton of the magic of why our food comes out great is the steam.
Right.
And they
don't have steam.
No, theirs is a toaster oven that can bake and broil. There's awesome technology in there. Those guys are great, but it's a different product. It's a very different product.
So what you're saying is it sucks because it has no steam. No, I'm joking. But it is a big difference.
It is a big difference.
Without the steam, because the steam keeps the food moist, right? And the flavor stays in.
Yes.
By heating with moisture. You can bake a little bit convection oven to brown it, but really that broiling part, that's the steam in the broiling that gives you that nice moist inside, crispy outside.
That's exactly right.
You're going to get dry chicken, I think, in the June, and you get moist chicken.
So I'll tell you a story about dry chicken. One of the first times our chef was working with the oven, he had all these temperature probes, and he was cooking chicken in there, taking it out, and the chicken was coming out at really, really high temperatures. And you want to shoot as a chef for like 160-ish, give or take. Chicken was coming out at 185, 190, but it was seeping juice. He was so shocked, he went to buy new temperature probes. He couldn't believe it. Because at 195, your chicken should come out like a rock, like dry as can be.
Right.
And it's just juicy because of the steam.
Right. It's not evaporating. It's actually probably absorbing some amount of moisture, I would think. So what do you need to scale this business? What's the next phase now that you've eliminated the hardware risk, it seems? You've got the delivery dialed in. You're ready to get 2,000 people. Is it now hardcore operational risk, and can you be profitable with these next 2,000 customers, or is it going to be money losing for this 2,000 until you get to 20,000 or 50,000? How do you look at a business like this and scaling it?
Yeah, on a unit basis for the customers that are within a ground shipping zone, we will be profitable.
In ground shipping?
Yes. So there's a very easy solve for that. That's 1 second facility in California. The vision is much larger than 2 facilities, but that's a pretty easy fix to become unit profitable across the country.
So if you have to put the boxes on a plane,
yes,
you're in bad shape.
Yes, exactly.
But if it's ground, it's good.
Yep.
So how does the FedEx network work in terms of ground? If there's 2 locations?
2 locations, and you can hit the vast majority of the country. Not every part,
but yeah. What are those 2
yeah.
locations? Memphis and?
For us, we have one outside of Chicago where we're based, and then the second one that we'd like to open will be on the West Coast. TBD where. But if you look, like Blue Apron has 3, one in Texas, one in California, one in New Jersey. That's kind of,
the Memphis ones is the FedEx airport.
That's where FedEx is based, yes.
Right. But they're on the airport. From what I understand, like they have their own airport, or they're
probably
part of the airport.
Yeah.
But it's the ground shipping that's better.
Right.
Hey, what do you think? We just had this Whole Foods acquisition by Amazon. What are your thoughts on that? Is that a good thing for you or a terrorizing thing for you? What do you think?
I think it's a great thing for us. I think a lot of us live in this tech bubble, but we don't realize that the vast, vast majority of people don't order groceries online. I've heard numbers anywhere from
5%.
1 to 5%, right, that actually do it. Amazon is going to make that a lot more popular. And at the end of the day, that's great for us. Like, that is one of the hurdles we have to get over, is getting people used to ordering groceries online. And Instacart and Blue Apron and all these guys help, but Amazon will help exponentially more than the rest.
This is going to be incredible when you're in Whole Foods. My God, can you imagine if the oven was in Whole Foods, you could buy it on the spot, and then there were just trays of salmon with the miso glaze right there, and you just pick up the package and go.
Yes.
Oh my God. That's what I love about this business. There's so many natural acquirers to it. Whole Foods absolutely should buy the company because it's such an obvious play. The prepared foods is their margin.
Yes.
From what I understand, they make their margin on the prepared foods. I know when I go there, it's my whole paycheck. We don't call it Whole Foods in my house. We call it whole paycheck because we literally, when you buy that prepared food, it's so expensive. But this is a nice in-between in terms of buying food there, and how convenient to just not have to make the miso glaze yourself or have a huge, that's the thing I hate. You buy a huge jar of miso glaze, it goes bad. I'd love this little like serving, just as you need it and pre-setting up the ingredients or the accoutrement.
Right. And I'll let you in on a little secret we've learned working in the food industry for a couple of years. The way Whole Foods makes a lot of that food in the prepared section is one large commissary kitchen where everything is prepared in mass and then shipped out to different locations.
Right.
And the food you get in California, often similar than the food you get in Chicago. So it's pre-cooked, it sits for a long time, it sits in those warmers. I think it pales in comparison to what we serve, where we ship you ingredients that are mainly raw or lightly par cooked and then really cooked fresh in the oven perfectly.
Because the broccoli's got to be par cooked, right?
The broccoli is par cooked, but only for about a minute and a half.
Really?
We did a lot of testing to find the right amount so that it matches with the salmon. And that's part of the magic.
Oh, right, because you're cooking it concurrently.
Yes, so like...
You don't want people to say, take the salmon out now, take the broccoli out, all in one shot.
It's always all in one shot, and we compare all different kinds of ingredients because of some of the magic we do up front.
What's the holy grail in terms of recipes that you haven't figured out yet? If you could figure out, if you could wave a magic wand and figure out some recipe, what is it? What's hardest is sort of what I'm getting at.
There are things that are not possible.
Okay, what's not possible? Yeah.
Like a hamburger. A hamburger would require multiple steps and different packaging. So it's doable, but doesn't fit within what we want. There are things that we know we're going to do, we just haven't gotten around to, like breakfast. Breakfast for us is a huge opportunity where we can make meals within 5 to 10 minutes. You've already got the oven. You're already ordering dinner, so we can get breakfast at a good price to you.
Right.
All you do is scan a barcode. 5 to 10 minutes later, you've got a breakfast sandwich. You've got really gourmet oatmeal. You've got a souffle. Like, there's a lot you can do within a steam oven. These guys are actually meant to make baked goods. Like, steam ovens are perfect for any kind of bread.
Right, because
you need to proof it.
You need to
proof it, and bread requires moisture.
What does proof it mean?
Proof is the final step where it requires wet heat in order to finish it off.
Got it.
Yeah.
This is why La Boulange here in San Francisco got bought by Starbucks.
Yeah.
And now when you go to a Starbucks, they have these convection ovens that I think are steam plus convection.
They're just convection.
Just convection.
Yeah.
But they will take your croissant and you get this crispy yet still moist on the inside. However they do it, even without steam, comes out so good.
Yeah, those are the Turbo Chef ovens are awesome.
The Turbo Chef,
but they are 10 to 20x what we charge.
Yeah,
maybe 40x.
Yeah, they're $10,000, $20,000 machines.
Yes.
But that's really changed restaurant cooking or to-go cooking when you get that. Yeah, but oh my God, breakfast is so great. Such high margin.
Yes.
And if you deliver it with dinner,
we can charge a reasonable amount to customers, because a lot of the problems with delivery services and breakfast that you get out is you're paying $8 to $12. And the way customers frame up breakfast in their mind is bowl of cereal or a quick thing from McDonald's or exactly. It's got to be around like 5 is a magic number, I think. If you can get breakfast at 5 or less, that's incredible.
And lunch is what, an $8 number in most people's mind? 10?
I think 10 to 15.
10 to 15.
For people that live in dense urban cities, you're spending 10 to 15 bucks.
Isn't it incredible? I remember like in the 80s, we used to allocate $3 for lunch, $4 for lunch, then the 80s and 90s. Now in San Francisco, getting a burger and fries and a soda is $20.
Right.
It's like literally if I go to Popson's down the block here, it's like $18 or $19 for one person for lunch.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. So how do you know you're successful? What do you have to accomplish here to know that this business is going to work? What do you worry about?
I think we're close just based on the feedback from customers that are not our moms and our cousins and our friends. Like, these are random people all over the country telling us we've built something incredible. We want to see that at 10x the numbers, 100x the numbers, and we want to see it in places aside from San Francisco, LA, and New York. And we're shipping food to 42 states, so we have customers all over the country. But we want those numbers to be real in other states as well.
Who does it appeal to? On one hand, I would think single people would be a great market because they don't have a family, so cooking single serving makes sense, but they also go out to eat a lot. And then family is like, well, it's a family tradition to cook, but it's also a pain in the ass. And when you got a bunch of kids and you're a single mom or single dad, or you just don't have time because people are so busy, who is your best customer?
So we've narrowed it down to two. One is a young couple where they're both working, call it early 30s, no kids yet. They want to eat healthy. They work till 7 or 8 p.m. They get home every night. If they do Blue Apron, it's exhausting to cook 3 nights a week. They want a solution that's delicious, healthy, and convenient.
I think they call them dinks.
Yes,
Dual
exactly.
income, no kids.
Dinks.
D-I-N-K.
Yep. The next group is those same two people 5 years later in life. Now they have 2 kids under the age of 5, and now it's become even harder to figure out dinner because they're both still working. They get home, they've got to take care of the kids, feed the kids, then find a way to feed themselves and not eat junk.
Right. And is the pitch going to be healthy food, or is the pitch going to be delicious food? And how do you straddle that? What do consumers want now? Because I remember that everybody thought that healthy food was a way to grow a food business, but then it turned out people really like to eat unhealthy food and they want decadent stuff. So it feels like you're going for the health food angle. Is that a mistake? Or how do you put in the stuff that's not healthy, but that's just delicious? How do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about this for most of my life, and I learned this lesson very early on that if the food doesn't taste good, it's never going to work. I learned that early in my career, and that's first principle for us. Like, the food has to taste delicious.
Right.
The driving theory on healthy is clean ingredients. So we have meals that are a little more decadent. We've got creamy pastas, things of that nature, but every ingredient is something that you could recognize, your mother, your grandparents, because it's simple.
What does this mean, clean ingredients?
There are ingredients that would exist 100 years ago. So no chemicals, no additives, no preservatives. You look on our label for this guy, for example, broccoli, brown rice, soybeans, ginger, salmon, honey, really simple stuff.
Right.
Really simple stuff, but like you said, it's delicious.
So clean means just recognizable ingredients and a small number of ingredients.
Yes.
Is the clean food movement.
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a restaurant in Palo Alto called Bird Dog, and their idea is clean. Social Capital's founder, Chamath Bridge, opened it up with a bunch of other friends of mine. But their idea is to use the highest quality ingredients and clean. How do you balance the salmon cost? So I know that you have to be very cost conscious. Does that mean you're going to have one type of salmon that is like the middle of the road, but some salmon's incredibly expensive and high end? 6 ounces of salmon could vary in cost dramatically, right?
Right.
How do you pick as the founder which salmon, or are you going to offer, here's the high end organic line and then here's the farm raised cheaper?
I think probably the latter. I think eventually we'll have different lines of meals where we would have an organic line that's maybe $15 a meal or $16 a meal, and then a line that's maybe more affordable, where maybe the meals are frozen and it appeals to a wider demographic. But I think that's the answer to how we kind of scale this.
You can do that under one brand, or do you think you have to have 2 brands, or how do you do that?
It's a great question whether it's our brand or someone else's brand. And that's a question we haven't answered yet. For now, it's all our brand, it's all our food. We stand by it, it's great quality. And give us some time and we'll figure out what's the right approach.
I think that's going to be the big win, is if I shop in Whole Foods, then I'm thinking $15 to $20 a meal. But if I shop at A&P, or I don't know what, Kroger's, what's the
Kroger.
Kroger's the more down market, or not high end market. I don't know, it's an eloquent way to say it, but that one is probably going to be wanting a $10 meal, $12 meal, right?
Yes, exactly.
Fascinating. Huh. And you raised money from the Pritzkers.
We've raised money from the Pritzker Group, from Origin Ventures, and some others.
That's my boy J.B. Pritzker, the soon-to-be governor. How did you get the Pritzkers to invest? What's that conversation like? When did you meet them? Because you're from Chicago. How do you convince, pretty high-end firm like that to invest in something that's, let's face it, a difficult category? What was the conversation like?
So they sponsored the business plan competition that I won about 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
And so we got a $20,000 check for them.
Just for writing a business plan?
We won.
What's
won. It's a long competition. Grubhub has won it. Braintree has won it. So it's fairly prestigious in Chicago.
What's it called?
It's called the New Venture Challenge. It's part of the University of Chicago.
So you write a business plan.
You write a business plan. You present to investors.
Do you make an MVP, a minimum viable product?
If you want to win, yes.
Oh, so that's what you did. You made the MVP?
We built a prototype. We served food. We demonstrated as much viability behind the business idea as possible.
How many people did you beat in that business plan?
It started with, I think, 100 people, and then winnowed down to 30, and then to 10, and then to 1.
And what, the last 10 presented on stage, or
Yes,
30? Or?
exactly. So 10 companies one day. Every company gets 15 minutes to present, and then 15 minutes of Q&A, and it's a room of about 20 investors.
Did any of those investors invest as well, or?
One indirectly, but eventually some did.
This is a good investment. I'll tell you why. This is why I think you're a good investment. I would invest in this company, even though I'm usually would do your first round, like with the $4 million raise. I would do like a syndicate and something like this, because I just think there's so many acquirers who need, even if, let's say, I think you're going to get to the point where you hit 10,000 customers, 20,000 customers, and someone like Whole Foods or someone like McDonald's or Kraft or just somebody who wants to go direct is going to buy this. Because you think about Whole Foods, they've already got the distribution. But then there's these other people who produce the food, right? And of food production people. And there's been a big discussion going on if those people should go direct to consumers. What do you think of that? The people like... Who makes poultry? What's the big poultry company called?
Tyson.
Yeah. Do you see a world where a Tyson starts making their own meals and sending them direct to consumers? Or do you think why not?
I think a lot of these industries are very old school, and to change business like that is a huge disruption.
It's just too hard for them to go direct to consumer.
Yep.
But if they did, you would cut out how many middlemen? 1, 2?
At least 2, but probably more. I think that's part of Blue Apron's argument for why you should use their service.
Oh, because they do go direct to the farm.
Yes.
And then they go direct.
Yes.
And didn't they just buy Neiman Ranch?
They did.
That's incredible when you think about it. Blue Apron bought Neiman Ranch, the #1 purveyor of beef, I think, the highest end.
It's an offshoot of Neiman Ranch that they bought, because Neiman sold, I think, 4 or 5 years ago or something like that.
Oh, this is like NR or something,
Something
Ranch?
like that,
it's like they couldn't use that name, Neiman Ranch, so it's sort of like their offshoot.
Right.
But this is, I think this is where you're going to get surprised. Like, it's obvious that Whole Foods should buy you, or whatever, Walmart, whoever wants to, do this. But I think that the end run from the farm to table, oof, because then think about the margin.
Right.
You get even less margin pressure.
Right. We'll see. We're not interested in selling now, so.
No, I know. But when you invest in a business, you have to think, okay, large independent company goes public, then you start buying up sources of food, et cetera, or you just go direct, great. You have your own distribution centers or the standard where Whole Foods can make them, but they pay you $1 per scan. So that's what I like. You sell them the tins. The tins and the machine to wrap it, and the scan on the barcode, to have a barcode issued, whatever it is. Or they might even just do a licensing fee. So they could sell as many as they want, and they just pay you $1 million a year for the license.
Right.
Oh, see, I think that's going to be very interesting.
Right. We've been approached by some people that want to do that already.
Oh, really? Just like, hey, can we just give you $1 million a year and then...
Yeah, we haven't figured out the terms. I'm interested in paying for every scan. So every time they scan a barcode, we track that.
Yeah, you get 25 cents a scan, 50 cents a scan. That would be incredible.
Yeah.
Or what I would do is, we'll do 50 cents a scan, but you have to put our ovens, to give us the end cap.
Right.
Yum, yum. You get the end cap, and you get to have a person in there. Oh.
Right.
Can you imagine you're making these meals and people walk by?
Yeah.
All right. This is a message to my friends at Whole Foods. I'm guessing David@Tovala.com works. I could be wrong, but usually the CEO gets the #1 spot. To my friends at Whole Foods, you're insane if you don't do a deal right now, like this week. Get 1 year exclusive. Give a head start. If you had Whole Foods come and say, we want to do a 1 year exclusive, how would you look at that?
I'd have to see what else is on the table.
Right.
I think we're going to be in a really good place next year.
Oh, God, it's such a good business. See, I think you're going to make it work. I think you can make it work. It's hard, though, but I think you can make it work.
We've crossed one of the bigger barriers.
Which is?
The execution.
The execution.
For 2 years, it was like, how are you going to build a physical device, all of this complex software, and a food business under one roof without $100 million?
Right.
And we've proven that.
See, this is what I look for in entrepreneurs. I'm always looking for cash efficiency, is what I tell other angel investors. Who are the founders who can take a nickel and get $1 out of it, or a dime and get $5? They exist. Cafe X, which is in the food business, I look at all these people who are making robotic stuff and hardware, and so often they can't even make a good product. And then Cafe X is getting 5-star ratings when people buy coffee.
Right.
And we don't even have a product risk. We just have how many of these can we deploy in how many locations, and what's the break-even period, and how do we capitalize the company now? But we never have that discussion of, is the product good or not? And I think you cross that chasm, which is the salmon's effing delicious. It works. It comes out so good. I'm going to buy one.
Thank you.
Now, okay, so today we're taping this a little early. It's under embargo, but you're going to be listening to this on July 11th,
Yes.
which is the day
You can start buying.
you can start buying, but there's only 2,000 units.
Yes.
They cost $400 each.
Yes.
But if you use the code TWIST, you get 50% off. I'm just joking. But maybe.
And the way it works is you buy the oven and the meals together.
Would you have to make a commitment?
Nope. Just a week at a time. You can pause, skip. You can skip 6 weeks out into the future.
Got it. But if I buy the oven and don't buy any meals, that's okay? Or I have to buy a certain number?
You have to buy the first week of meals.
Oh, the first week?
Yes.
Just so we know that you're...
You choose your meals.
Yeah.
Because that's who we're going after, is people that want
so
our
it's
meals.
400 plus 36.
Yes.
Or 72, depending on what you go for.
Exactly.
But you can't order frozen yet.
No. Everything arrives fresh. The quality of the food is number one for us right now. It's got to taste
frozen,
great.
you think is going to be a problem. Or it could be. See, this is where
we can figure that one out. That's a solvable problem.
See, what would be interesting is if you know the chicken parm freezes well, you put the chicken parm in as the ice packs on the bottom. You freeze them. When they arrive, they're defrosted.
Yes.
Or if you put 4 of them in there and they're frozen, that could be the... See, that's... I'm getting a stand-up freezer because when you have 3 kids, which I have 3 kids now, I mean, I feel like I'm running a restaurant at home, and I want to be able to buy 20 orders of knishes or 20 orders of chicken parm and just have them in that stand-up freezer in the basement, so I never have to worry. Convenience is so
what's
important.
amazing about big families that are using this is they just see value in having 6 meals in the fridge that are just there that week and that their kids can make. Literally, it's scan a barcode, remove a film, you get an amazing pasta.
I didn't even think about that. The kids can come home from school and they're good.
It's probably the same in your household. You move through so much food.
It's unbelievable. Like our refrigerator is Grand Central Station. It's unbelievable. I buy some stuff from Good Eggs. I don't know if you know Good Eggs.
I do, yes.
Are you in San Francisco? You're in Chicago.
We're in Chicago.
They probably launched there and then shut down, I bet.
Yes.
Is that what happened?
I don't know if they made it to Chicago, but...
They made it to New York and they shut down. They just jumped the fence. I think they spent too much money. But now they're only operating here. It is the greatest delivery service ever. They have the highest end stuff. Like if you want to get the best brisket in the world and then cook it, it's unbelievable. And they pack it so perfectly. It's like the highest end restaurant packing your food, like layers of butcher paper, and it's like a piece of art when you open, and it all comes in boxes, which I love.
Right.
It's just beautiful. I'm so happy that entrepreneurs are still trying to figure this out. Okay. Continued success. If you're Whole Foods, David at Tovala.com. Make your best offer. I'm going to be part of the negotiation. I'm going to insert myself. And we should talk after this because I don't know. I have a feeling you're going to raise another round. I think I need to chip off a piece. I don't know. Maybe you could chip off a little $250K for JCal.
We'll see.
Maybe. This is going to be a $10 million round at a 50 million post. It's going to be expensive, but I think I need to chip off a little $500K or something. Get a little slicey poo for JCal and his syndicate. Have you done an AngelList syndicate or any syndicates?
We have. We did one after the seed round.
Which syndicate did you do?
New Stack Ventures.
New Stack. Who's that?
Yeah, it's run by Nick Moran.
Oh, cool.
Yep. And then we did one with Sandeep Ahuja as well. Yeah.
So you like the syndicates?
Yeah, it was nice.
Have those syndicate members provided value? Like the actual members?
They have not.
They have not. So you don't have their emails and everything? Or?
We do.
Yeah.
I take that back. There is one member in particular that has added value.
Yeah. See, this is what
one
happens.
person.
That if you get the right members, I've seen like with a number of startups where they have 50 people in the syndicate and like 4 or 5 of them they put $5K in each, but they're acting like they put in 50 or 500.
Yep, same.
They overperform.
And I will say it has not caused problems because I think there is a misperception among some folks that you're going to have.
You know where that came from?
Where's that?
VCs. The VCs were so threatened by AngelList, Funders Club, Seed Invest, and now Republic and some of these other ones. They basically said, if you take that kind of unprofessional money from angels, they're going to leak information. You're going to have to talk to somebody on the phone who put in $2,000. They're unprofessional. They're going to bust your chops. And it's the exact opposite. They know what they're doing. they're only putting 5K in. They're probably worth 5 million or 2 or 3 million in net worth or liquid net worth because they're accredited. They're taking a flyer and they want to be supportive. They're doing it for the fun of it, the thrill of it, and the returns, in my experience. But the VCs specifically tried, some VCs, I think the bad VCs, looked at this as like, if we let these syndicates start doing the early stages, they're going to be our competition in 5 years. And you know what? That's exactly what's happened.
Right.
How many people you know at YC who their biggest investor is a syndicate?
It's happening more.
More and more. Because like your lead, if you raise 4 million, your lead put in $1.5 million or
Right.
2, something in that range, $1 million. And now you have, if you're doing $2 million, your lead is 500K and it might be a syndicate.
Right.
That's good that you had a good experience.
Yes.
All right. Thank you again, Emmy Award-winning producer Jackie, for setting this up so quickly. What happened was an investor who you're talking to, I won't say who it is, said to me, I said, what's hot? He said, I saw this oven thing. I said, June? He said, no, F June. That's garbage. Don't worry about that. This one, they put the food and the package together and the salmon's amazing and this is amazing. And they were like, you have to check this thing out. You know what I did? I just texted Emmy Award producer Jackie 2 weeks ago. Book Tovala. And here you are. You're here.
Love it.
All right.
Love it.
Thanks again, everybody. Buy the machine, tovala.com, Tovala.com, and eat delicious, healthy food at a really fair price. We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.